From the campus of Delsea High School in Franklinville, New Jersey, the GCEN presents high school football. Tonight it's the season opener as the Delsea Crusaders host the Timber Creek Chargers. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner Fred Swartz. A blistering hot day here in Franklinville, in excess of 90 degrees outside, and we should have some hard-hitting, hot action tonight. Two fantastic teams, two returning champions, Delsea and Timber Creek. You couldn't ask for a better matchup to start things. Two fantastic coaches in Rob Hinson and Sal Marquez. It's really a matchup made for television.
Absolutely, and it's teams that you don't want to start the season with, but you enjoy starting the season with because it's great football. They'll be well coached, they'll be well disciplined, and boy, are they loaded.
Talking about loaded, first let's talk about the Timber Creek Chargers. They have talent galore, ranked number one in the Courier Post most recent poll. A receiving core with just a bevy of talent. It just seems like they can just replace one guy after another. Many potential Division I players on this team.
Yeah, the easy thing to look at is that they don't reload. Rebuild, they reload. Probably the most important thing for them is 8 of their players are preseason All-South Jersey players. That's incredible. In all my years of coaching, I've never seen anything like that. But it has to translate into victories, and we'll see what happens tonight.
When you talk about the Delsea Crusaders, one thing that comes to mind, consistency. Each and every year, it's championship after championship. They take great pride in the tradition they've created here. Sal Marquez, as good as they come. And although this team is appreciably younger, expect big things from them once again.
Yeah, the nice thing about them is they stay the same year after year after year. They run the same offense. You almost know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to tell you we're coming here, and you got to stop them. Toughness, they work, they buy into the system. They're just a great football team led by a great coaching staff.
They're going to be tested tonight as they take on Timber Creek. Timber Creek, tremendous offensive and defensive sides of the ball, but tonight we're going to talk a little offense. Devin Leary, maybe the top quarterback in the state of New Jersey, getting looks from the likes of the University of Florida, University of Southern Carolina. Rutgers Temple has already offered. I mean, the world is his oyster.
Yes, and he's got a unique opportunity. He started a little bit as a freshman, got to see him play when he was a freshman at Rowan University. He could throw for over 8,000 yards before his career's finished. He threw for almost 3,000 yards last year. I think the biggest thing about Devin Leary is he's an athlete playing quarterback, and he's a smart athlete playing quarterback. So he can do so many things for you.
A contrast in styles. Timber Creek likes to go to the air. Delsea is all about the ground. They're led by Rashad Williams, over 1,200 yards last season. This is a team that is very difficult to stop, a complex offense with a tremendous amount of athleticism.
Yeah, I was going to say Timber Creek usually scripts the first 10 or 12 plays. Delsea, I can almost tell you right now what the first play is. Rashad Williams is going to go right off tackle and try to get as many yards as he can. They're a team that physically is tough, and they're going to try to beat you by wearing you down and not allowing you to have the football.
One of the reasons that both of these teams are championship teams is because they can do it on all sides of the football, including special teams. A couple of fine kickers, outstanding coaches. We have one heck of a ball game for you tonight. Stick around for your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. Welcome back to Delsea High School, about to get underway here on a blistering hot evening. As I mentioned, Tyler Coluccio, the senior, to kick it away. And we are underway here in Franklinville. A line drive kick taken at the 9-yard line across the 25. And that's about where he will stop. First down and 10 for the Delsea Crusaders. Nick McDonald on the return. There you see McDonald. Delsea and Timber Creek, both champions coming into this game, as we mentioned, defending champs. Group 3 for Delsea, Group 4 for Timber Creek. And Delsea is a team that boasts a new quarterback under center, and that is Keelan Bourget.
And that'll be his first good test right now. He comes in, he runs the offense. I'm going to bet you $1, Coach, he's going to run the fullback right here.
Handoff inside, belly play for about 4 yards. And that's Delsea football in a nutshell.
Yes, what you do in the beginning is you try to see exactly how they're going to run your offense, and defend your offense, give it to your best back, tell them to go straight ahead and deal some punishment.
Well, of course, Rashad Williams is their best back, 1,200 plus yards last season for the Crusaders. He is a workhorse, tremendous work ethic, squats in excess of 500 pounds, and we'll see that power coupled with speed on display throughout the evening. 2nd down and 6 at the 29-yard line for the Crusaders. Again, the inside handoff and pushing forward is Charles Walker. Walker to about the 33-yard line. So 3rd down and a very makeable 2.
And Rob, Delsea returns all its backfield starters except for quarterback. Keelan Bourget making his first start. That was Quinn Collins there last year. But Williams, Samuel, and Walker all played for the championship team from the following year.
One thing to be mindful of, Timber Creek returns many more players than Delsea, but one place where they've been hit is the linebacking core. And when you're playing a team like Delsea who loves to run the football and has that deception, linebackers are going to play a critical role. Again, 3rd down and 2. Right up the gut, driving forward, and that will be more than enough for the 1st down. And Delsea football, 3 plays in a row, all on display.
And our viewers really got to see the leg drive that was done by Williams at that time. He was stopped short of the line of scrimmage, drove to the 1st down. That's all done in the weight room, Coach.
Again, we talked about the squatting power of Williams, and there it is, 3 different Chargers trying to hold him back. Not able to do so before Williams picks up the 1st down. Again, we talked about this contrast between the two teams. Delsea will love to control the ball on a hot night. They're going to wear down that Timber Creek defense. Again, the handoff, a big hole across the 40-yard line. Stiff arm over midfield, in deep into Charger territory. About the 30-yard line is Tyler Samiel. Samiel, the fastest player on this Delsea team.
And we got to see that there. And what Delsea did that our viewers can take a look at, they went unbalanced line. They brought their end over, put more blockers on the left-hand side of the offensive line, and just took advantage of Timber Creek not reacting to it.
23-yard gain for the Crusaders. 33-yard gain for the Crusaders. And 1st down and 10 now deep in Timber Creek territory at the 30-yard line. 9:45 left in this 1st quarter. Single back in motion, and now it's Williams once again who will carry. And again, look at the power of Williams just taking the pile, refusing to be stopped.
And again, Rob, that's what you also see is that just sends a message that you can't stop me, and I'm going to gain as many yards as I need to get. Also, if we watch the play again, Delsea was setting up an option to the quarterback, and everybody just closed down on the fullback. If Bourget had kept the ball, he probably would have been in the end zone.
And again, that's a play that will open up things later when they do go to that 2nd down and 4 at the 24-yard line. Rashad Williams, the lone running back for this Crusaders offense. It's in motion, and there Bourget keeps. Bourget looking to push forward. He'll pick up a few. And it looks like he'll be about a yard short of the 1st down.
And you had mentioned before that was a quarterback counter, and the most important thing they're looking at that is what does the linebackers do? If they take off right with the fullback, he walks into the end zone. So not a bad effort of staying home defense by Timber Creek's linebacker.
3rd down and 1. At this point, probably 4-down territory if need be for the Crusaders. Sal Marquez not afraid to gamble once in a while. Interesting, he is typically up on top of the press box calling plays. And right up the gut, more than enough for the 1st down. Delsea continues to move the football and move the clock.
And Ron Flame is the line coach for Delsea. I think we talked earlier that Delsea's offensive line is really pretty young. And this is really a grow-up drive right here. They've done a great job doing their blocking.
Crowd still filing in here early. I think everybody's trying to get back into the swing of things. Say, hey, you know what? I know it's 92 degrees outside, but it's football time.
That's right. Best time of the year.
First down and 10, again in motion. And off tackle, bouncing off the first tackler, but unable to continue forward is Taj Samil.
And great job there on defense. Done by number 6 of Timber Creek. We'll get his name here in a minute. Stayed at home, did exactly what he was needed to do. Sets up the first, second, and long that Delsea's had all game.
Samuel, maybe half a yard at most. Second down and 10 for Bourget and the offense. Williams again, the lone running back for the Crusaders. Bourget keeps into the secondary, and Bourget very close to the first down. Maybe just a hair short.
And interesting for Delsea, as they went unbalanced again, they also took their guards and tackled and took wide line splits. That helps a young developing line as it creates natural running lanes.
So the ball is spotted at the 9-yard line, bringing up a third down. We'll call it 1. There's a timeout on the field. It looks like Rob Hinson and the Chargers want to talk it over here. So again, we talked before about 2 fine coaches on display. We also have a good group of officials here. Let's talk about them. The referee is Mark Finelli. Your umpire, Jim Puderbach. Line judge is Mike Walcott. Dennis Jablonski on the line. Mike Galenda, your side judge. Back judges Kevin Lamb and Bob Goodman is your clock official. He's the most handsome one of the bunch.
How about that?
That's what he tells me anyway.
There you go, and he's right up here, so we can't say anything bad about him. Mark Finelli's been doing this for years. Jimmy Puderbach's probably the finest umpire, and he's also a real pleasure as a gentleman to talk to during the game.
So, not a surprise. You're going to have a first-class officiating crew with probably the game that everybody says this is the game of the week. There you see the weather report, 90 degrees, partly cloudy. With the humidity, it feels like 105. Sitting next to you, breathing heavy, it feels like 115.
I'm telling you, I'm with you. Hey, listen, for the young Delsea group up front, this is exactly what they wanted. It's almost 6 minutes of play, of clock possession, and they still have the football.
Third down and 1, and we talked about this, Fred, this hot day really going to wear down this Timber Creek defense. Inside, Williams bounces, refuses to be denied, continues to move the pile. First down, Crusaders.
Boy, just great drive football by Williams on that time. He just refuses to go down the first hits, keeps his leg moving. I think I'd give him the ball every time and then give it to Samuel the last time, and we'd be fine.
Well, as you mentioned, this is a talented crew of running backs. Bourget still getting acclimated to the offense. You mentioned Quinn Collins, who did such a great job last year as the skipper of this offense, and Bourget has done well thus far. Again, right up the middle, and this time Timber Creek denies any impending penetration by the Crusader line.
When we get down inside the 10-yard line, it becomes more and more difficult for Delsea to do it because everybody comes up so close. Nobody's going to play in the end zone now because it doesn't do you any good. So Timber Creek can have as many as 9 or 10 people right near the line of scrimmage.
You know, and in kind of a funny way, Delsea doesn't even mind when there's a short game because it allows the defense to rest, the other defense to get worn out, and keeps Devin Leary off the field.
That's the last one is probably the biggest key right there. Look at the difference in the line splits out there between guard and tackle.
Second down and goal for the Crusaders. They have not thrown the ball yet, and that is their MO. And across the line is touchdown. No call from the referee, a late call, but there you see it, Rashad Williams, and the Crusaders strike first.
Boy, just a great drive. Notice there were no passes thrown at all, just straight ahead. Delsea football, here we come, we're coming right at you.
Rashad Williams, a 5-yard TD run with 5:13 in the first quarter.
So it's 6 minutes and 47-second drive.
And the kick is good, so it is Delsea who takes the early lead. They strike first, 7-0. Prior to the game speaking with head coach Sal Marquez, I said, your team's a little bit younger. How important is it to take the lead? It's kind of an interesting way he responded. He said, well, we don't want to fall behind. So obviously he felt that was important, and they get the jump.
Yeah, true. Here you can see the touchdown drive. Again, it's all leg drive by Williams. He smelled the end zone. He gets the ball across the plane. 6 for Delsea.
12 plays, 75-yard drive for Delsea. Of course, that was the opening drive of the game, so encompassing over half of the first quarter. And again, if you were Sal Marquez, Fred, that's how you script it.
That's how you script it. It now means that Leary comes on the field. Now what you hope is your defense can hang tough. If they stop them and you go 6 minutes again, look out.
Given that long drive, given the heat, one thing Timber Creek has to avoid here is a 3 and out.
That's correct. They have to make sure they put some pressure on Delsea. That's right.
Well, we mentioned that this Timber Creek team is just absolutely loaded with talent, and we'll see it on display. Larry Holdcraft, the senior kicker, on for Delsea, and he'll kick it away to, again, some of the talent that we spoke of. Guy to really keep an eye on is Ezra Archie, who is on his way to Penn when we see them line up. But Malcolm Henry back to receive the kick for Timber Creek. And it's a short kick on the far side, taken at about the 20. Across the 30 to the 40. Now all the way towards midfield. A nice run by Blaine Shade.
Boy, a common name here at Timber Creek. The Shades have been outstanding football players and wrestlers for Timber Creek. We got an idea. I told everybody, all you people staying at home, fasten your seatbelts. This is going to be a wild ride.
I misspoke earlier. Onani Moore back, Malcolm Henry, of course, playing for the Crusaders. First down and 10, ball at the 48-yard line. Timber Creek comes out with outstanding field position. And Leary starts quads right. Spread offense. Leary, quick. Rocket screen across the 45 and cut down. Finally, Timber Creek's Ezra Archie, who we spoke about. Just a fine young man on his way to play football at the University of Pennsylvania. Comes from a fine family of doctors. Said he aspires to be an orthopedic surgeon himself. Again, it's Leary, rocket screen inside, and on his feet driving forward. It's to the 35-yard line, a quick first down for Timber Creek. And Fred, the first thing you see is, wow, what a contrast in offense.
That's for sure. And the one thing I've noticed right off the bat is how quick a release Devin Leary has. It's almost impossible to blitz him here because that ball's out within 2 seconds.
Well, Leary also plays baseball for the Chargers, and being a coach that has seen him compete on the field, can throw the ball in the upper 80s. So we're going to see someone with a fantastic arm, but many people say his biggest strength is his head. And this time Archie is brought down, so he's sacked. But everybody, when you talk about Leary, they keep talking about just what a smart cookie he is.
Yeah, and he said he sat back, he learned the system. Each year he's gotten better and better. His arm strength has become better. He has some very, very big name colleges looking for him. Here we go, quick tempo.
Again, 5 receivers set. Leary looks, he lobs it up, and nobody home there. Trying to find Jean-Paul Roan, but nobody home for Roan. One of the things that Timber Creek is cognizant of is that this Delsea defense boasts some tremendous athleticism in the defensive back area. Typically, Timber Creek can really isolate wide receivers and take advantage of whoever your third, fourth, or fifth defensive back is. That's not so much the case with Delsea.
Yeah, there's no shortage of athletes here. Every year, Delsea's track team is one of the best around. So, all right, we're going to go empty backfield again and quads to the right.
4:02 left. Leary, 2-step drop, throws it. You see his arm on display. Down on his knees, receiving the ball is Ezra Archie. Short of the first down, but a nice pickup nonetheless. We'll call it about 4 to go, 4th down and 4.
Kind of an interesting comment in the Courier Post the other day that Archie said he wanted to catch 95 passes this year.
Said he wanted to be the all-time leader that breaks some school records. And with a quarterback like Leary, it makes your job a lot easier.
And boy, there's been some outstanding receivers at Timber Creek. Chambers was an outstanding. Cameron Chambers, who's only at Michigan State right now.
One receiver split right, 3 to the left. Leary, quick drop across the middle, has his man inside the 5, touchdown.
Wow, that's all you can say. Great look by Leary. Great throw across the middle. And although it took 6 minutes and 47 seconds for Delsea to score, it took 3 minutes and 5 seconds for Timber Creek to score.
So it is Leary to Hill, the hookup, 28-yard touchdown reception. And just like that, we're a point away from being tied. Kick is up. It hits the left upright. It's no good. So Delsea, on the strength of an extra point, has the early lead.
Here we get to see the touchdown pass. Watch Leary. Great delivery over the middle of the hill, and he knows where to get to the end zone. Almost like he took it easy going into the end zone, but a great throw and a great run after the catch.
Well, again, I think right there you just see why so many colleges are excited about Leary.
His poise, Rob.
His poise, his mechanics, his arm strength. 6-play, 52-yard drive, and encompassing about 2:05 off the clock.
Watch this extra point. I was going to tell you, Rob, this bonks with the left upright. Missed extra points sometimes come back to haunt you and definitely change sometimes your strategy as you're going along and during the game.
So Tyre Coluccio to kick it away once again for Timber Creek. Taj Samuel and McDonald. This time, again, it's McDonald. McDonald weighing his options, pushes forward, and takes it to about the 28-yard line. First down and 10 for Delsea.
We talked a little bit about the game. We talked about both these teams being so good. If they both play well, this is going to be a classic we'll long remember. You also said, yeah, well, both teams don't play well and it goes sloppy. It could still be a classic. So definitely both teams score on their first drive. Let's see what happens. It was 35-31 last year, Delsea, when Delsea rallied from a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter. Hang on, gang. This is going to be an interesting day.
I tell you, both of these teams start the season off with a very tough schedule. Cedar Creek on tap next for the Crusaders. Staying on his feet and now finally slung down after maybe a pickup of one.
And Rob, I think last year, I got to see when they played West Deptford, I thought Bo Melton was probably the best player in South Jersey, maybe the best player I've seen in about 5 years.
Wow, that's saying something. Samuel shaking up on this play.
Just a typical wing T sweep taken outside, and a great job for the defensive end and the linebacker for Timber Creek. When you play against the wing T, it puts so much pressure on your defensive ends because that's who they attack.
Second down, we'll call it 10 for the Crusaders. Samuel being worked on the sidelines. It looked like it may have been a hamstring. Right up the gut, it's Williams, and Williams with about 4.
They can almost see this coming. Timber Creek has now made an adjustment, and they're going to really close down on the inside running game. Delsea's going to either run a reverse or a jet sweep outside, try to get Samuel or Walker to the outside coming up.
Third down, we have yet to see Delsea go to the air. Conversely, Timber Creek is yet to put it on the ground.
How about that?
Looks like Samuel still on the sideline trying to work out that hamstring. Bourget looks, throws, has a man wide open. It's Williams, but he overthrows his target. That was an easy throw, and I think that's where the adrenaline kind of gets you.
Absolutely, because that's his first pass of his quarterback career. They ran a very nice play called the waggle, where they fake the sweep, and out he goes to the outside. And there was a man open. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
So Delsea forced to punt it away here for the first time. It looks like Bourget will do the punting. Punt at the 34, hit immediately and driven backwards. Big hit laid out by Delsea's Quashon Fowler.
Just great special team effort, covering the punt. But, I'll tell you what, that was a great punt. Had nice height. Here we go now. Timber Creek got a feeling pretty good. They stopped the Crusaders. Let's see if they can go right down the field again.
55-yard punt for the Crusaders. 1:25 left in this first quarter. Atlantic City Electric game of the week. A fantastic one. Group 4 champs versus the Group 3 champs. And right now it's a 1-point lead for Group 3 and the Crusaders. They're now on defense for the second time. Again, a 5-receiver set, empty backfield. Leary with time, throws it up, has a man wide open. It's caught into the secondary and brought down is Witcher. Strike that. That is number 8. That is Pierce.
I'll tell you, Coach said he had so many great receivers that you couldn't isolate on one, but Leary just put that ball right on the money.
First down and 10. Again, Timber Creek always in the hurry up, and now the whistle blows, and Delsea's going to call timeout and try to get their defense settled. Well, again, you got a situation where maybe Sal Marquez and the coaching staff see something they don't like, and also maybe buy some time for Samuel, who was shaken up earlier.
And that could be true. Watch this again. We can see Leary taking his time, reading his receivers, lofting the ball up just for the receiver to get under. Great throw.
Well, you mentioned that he has a tremendous stable of receivers, and we've seen that here consistently. 40-yard pass for Leary.
And Rob, one of the hardest things for Delsea to do is when they practice against their number 2s against their number 1s, Delsea always runs the ball. So it's hard to replicate the speed and the passing game that Timber Creek does in practice for Delsea.
Last year, you see Timber Creek 9-3, Delsea 11-1. One of those losses for Timber Creek against this very team, they lost 35-31 to the Crusader.
Delsea's won the championship the last 4 years in a row. Timber Creek's been to the final the last 5 years.
First down and 10. Again, a 5-receiver set, empty backfield for Leary. Quads right. Leary, quick drop, gets flushed out of the pocket. Leary throws it. I think that's going to be intentional grounding. It is.
The whole key for that one is there has to be either an eligible receiver in the area or the ball has to get past the line of scrimmage, and it did neither. Just great pressure here. Leary gets it away to avoid a sack, but the closest receiver was one of Delsea's coaches.
Well, Jake Hollowell with the big play, but he also favoring one of his legs. It looked like it may have been a hamstring, so we've seen that early. And again, that's a huge penalty.
Yeah, it's a spot foul and a loss of down. That's probably the biggest.
Ball spotted at the 48. They got to get to the 18-yard line for a first down, so about second down and 30. Again, Leary with the 5-receiver set, bunched right, the quads. We'll see whether or not Delsea opts to put pressure on Leary. Good rush. Leary throws it up. Jump ball, and no one comes away with it. Looking for Roan.
Very similar play that offensive coordinators like to do. You like to spread all the receivers onto one side, and then you have a singular receiver on the other side. Delsea has to play man-to-man on that receiver, and you bet that your receiver can beat their defender.
Third down and 30. Not a lot of offenses can think, okay, this is makeable, but this is one of them. 5 for 8, Leary, 93 yards. And again, they can cover a lot of territory in a short amount of time. Quads left for Leary. Leary again, setting up the screen, throws it underneath, has his man. It's Archie, and Archie still on his feet. Archie on his way, Archie deep into Delsea territory. What a pickup. Nice play call. Using the aggressiveness of that Delsea rush, and nicely done by the Chargers.
And that's, again, a great credit to Leary. He really sold the deep drop. Delsea had a 3-man rush and dropped 8. Got it into Archie, and boy, Archie just knew where to go. How about that? 3rd and 28, you get the first down all the way down the field.
45-yard gain. It was 3rd down and 30. They picked up that and 50% more. So 30 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Late player coming in for this Timber Creek offense. This may be the first time we see him run the ball. Full house backfield. Leary will hand it off, and cut down almost immediately is number 24 for Timber Creek. I believe that's Stevenson. We don't have a 24 listed on our roster. Nonetheless, that'll be the last play of the quarter. Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week has been a fine one already. Delsea, after 1, on top of Timber Creek by 1. Welcome back, second quarter. Delsea on top, 7-6. Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. Rob Christ along with Fred Swartz bringing you what an opener. Group 3 champ versus Group 4 champ. And right now it's Group 4 knocking on the door, trying to take their first lead of the evening. It's Devin Leary under center with the full house backfield. He'll fake, rolls, has a man wide open, and Timber Creek has taken the lead. Touchdown.
Just great poise again by Leary, just like a half roll off a bootleg, and there were 2 receivers out there. They were both open.
Where'd you go?
So 4-yard TD pass, Leary to Brown, and the Chargers.
Nuh-uh.
Great.
So they'll try to get it right with Colucci. High snap, Colucci's kick is up, and this time it is true. So Timber Creek on top by 6, 11:54 second quarter, and here's the touchdown pass.
Well, watch, both receivers. The closest guy to the touchdown maker was his own man, but a great read there by Devin Leary. Now, we're also going to get to see the play that really set up the whole situation when it was 3rd and 30.
Touchdown, Tony Brown on that reception, the senior tight end, and here's the big play, the inside screen.
And Ezra Archie really sold that because he delayed a little bit before he got there. Just look at the power and speed. The only thing I'm mad at him is he's carrying the ball in the wrong hand, but he gets all the way down to the 4-yard line.
As we mentioned, Archie will be attending the University of Pennsylvania. Smart young man, tremendous talent, and again, Penn excited to have him. Of course, Penn won the Ivy League last year.
And Rob, the touchdown by Tony Brown, he's going to go to the Naval Academy, which says a lot about the character of him.
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about some character kids. When you have 2 kids, one's going to Ivy League, the other one's going to Annapolis, that says it all right there. 6 plays, 65 yards, touchdown, Tony Brown. Colucci will kick it away once again. And again, it's a long kick this time, taken at about the 7-yard line, and cut down at about the 25. So Samuel is back in the game, so that's a good sign for the Crusaders. He returned that, and Delsea has consistently had the football start their drives right around the 25-yard line, 25, 28, and 25.
And what Sal would want right now is another drive, just like he had in the first quarter. Take 6 minutes off.
Maybe longer.
Clock. Maybe longer is right. Don't give Leary any time.
First down and 10, Crusaders. Bourget will hand it off. Here's Williams. Williams will pick up about 3. You know, to use a basketball analogy, it's almost like watching Paul
Westhead
against Bobby Knight playing the 4 corners. I mean, it's slow it down, no, speed it up. Slowed it down, speed it up.
Now, they've run Samuel on the inside run. That time they ran it on a play called the down, and you run your fullback right at the offensive tackle. It's like a slant to see if you can just blow them off.
First game I ever worked at as a statistician was LaSalle playing Loyola Marymount.
Did it end like 130 to 110?
I mean, after the first quarter, I didn't have a clue what was going on. I really didn't. It was impossible to keep stats, especially given it was my first time. By the time I wrote down who scored and who had the assist, there was 2 other baskets.
That's exactly right. That's exactly the answer. I think they had a game where they scored 188 points in the game.
It's unbelievable. I mean, that's hard. Listen, Fred, you and I couldn't do that if there was no one else on the court.
That's exactly right. I always said, if he and I were playing 2 against none, we'd still probably lose.
So a timeout here for the Crusaders. We mentioned that both teams with a very difficult schedule. Crusaders at home against Timber Creek. Then they're on the road at Cedar Creek. They've never played before. Cedar Creek was the Group 2 champs last year. Paul VI will come to Delsea on the 23rd of September. Delsea won a barn burner against them last year, 35-34. Then it's Holy Spirit, Cherry Hill East, and then Kingsway, Eastern, Woodrow Wilson, and then finally Clearview for Delsea. So again, the front of their schedule far more challenging, I would suggest. These first 2 games will really allow them to be battle-tested, which is what Sal Marquez had
I don't know
said.
why they didn't schedule Pennsville and Toms River North. They would have played all the champions in a row.
Yeah, that's right. 2nd down and 8. Again, right up the middle for Delsea. And maybe a gain of 1. So offense after an impressive opening drive has stalled a bit.
There's good.
There you see Sal Marquez. He is the 3rd in line. That's Coach Smith, also the head baseball coach over at Williamstown. The 2nd man there with the red visor. And Sal Marquez, his 23rd season, 177 victories, 57 losses, and 1 tie. And I would not want to play poker with him.
I definitely agree. You would not know what he's going to run right now.
Nope. 3rd down and 6 at the 29-yard line. Clock continues to move. We're at 10:10 remaining. Bourget, end around. And not much room this time. Stopped is number 20, and that is Charles Walker. So again, Delsea forced to punt it away.
Yeah, and Timber Creek's done a good job of adjusting to the running lanes for Delsea, and that's very good. Delsea's going to have to probably open up a little things, and that'll be good. Now, the one thing you don't want to do here if you're Delsea is give Timber Creek another chance to score here.
Well, there you see Bourget as your punter, and that's something to keep an eye on as well, Fred.
Yeah, he can run from back there. That's a very good point.
Or throw.
Or they could snap down and try to draw him off sides.
Bourget had an excellent punt last time. Another good one, angled towards the sideline, taken at the 35. Brushes off a tackle, back to the 30, now across the 35. Cuts it back inside, across midfield. No, right at midfield. He'll be finally taken down.
Again, we got to see a little bit of the speed and athletic ability. I think when we start with Timber Creek, the first word we mention is athleticism. Tremendous athleticism, and almost a clip on that return.
Onani Moore with a 15-yard return. 1st down and 10 for Timber Creek. Right at midfield, 9:12 remaining. They will try to build on this lead. It's a blitzkrieg type of offense. They strike quickly. Trips left, Leary throws again, using that screen pass underneath to Archie. Archie using that athleticism, spinning off tackles inside the 35-yard line is Ezra Archie.
And again, a nice situation, good play call by Timber Creek where they saw that Delsea's linebackers were bailing out. The offensive linemen are coming on. Watch how hard they come. Just slip it underneath of them. Send your blockers down the field. In case you're worried about linemen being downfield, as long as the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, you can be anywhere on the field.
1st and 10, ball at the 34, a 16-yard completion, and Leary continues to pad those stats. Leary, and he hands it off. Still on his feet, finally cut down after a gain of about 10 yards, and that's Harold Coleman.
Again, he showed the athlete that he was. literally hurdling over a runner and then almost doing a total flip in that deal. What is it, the second running play in the second half?
I believe.
First half?
Yeah, I believe that's right. 8:23 left. Clock stops as runner taken out of bounds. Again, Leary with one man in the backfield, trips left. Leary getting the call from the sideline, and now I think it took a little too long.
Well, I think what we're going to have there is going to be encroachment on Delsea. In high school football, if you enter the neutral zone, it's a penalty. It's not like the pros where you can get back in and line up one way or the other.
First and 5. Again, Leary with one man in the backfield. Leary fakes the handoff across the middle, has his man, touchdown.
Boy, just a great read.
Ezra Archie with the touchdown pass, 19-yard on the hookup. And again, this is quite an offense that Timber Creek boasts.
And Leary did a great job. He sold the run fake that froze the linebackers. Archie goes on a quick post. Great throw by Leary right there, and 6 more for Timber Creek.
Well, Leary with 3 touchdown passes already to 3 different receivers. Colucci on to attempt the point after. His kick is up, and his kick is good. It is now 20-7 for the Chargers. Again, it's hard not to like everything you see in Devin Leary.
Absolutely. And again, we've talked so much about him learning the offense, him anticipating what things go. And I'm just really impressed with his poise. He just doesn't get rattled.
Now, one thing we haven't spoken about, Fred, is
here it is again. Watch the ride when we get it to the fullback. That holds the linebackers. Step back, deliver on the quick post to Archie, touchdown.
One thing we haven't spoken about, Fred, is the suit that was hanging over this Timber Creek program. We see the drive there, and the Camden County's prosecutor's office responded to that and has essentially said that there will be no charges forthcoming, although the suggestion is that there were some improprieties in terms of residency rules and so on. I'll give you the direct quote from the prosecutor's office, and that may mean, depending on how the NJSAA rules, that this team may not be eligible for the playoffs. We'll
could happen, and a lot of things could happen as far as seasons past.
What a return across the 30-yard line. Clear sailing. Samuel on his way, coast to coast. Touchdown.
Just what the Crusaders needed. Well, we really got to look at the speed of Taj Samuel, because once he found that opening, there was just nothing that was going to stop him along the way. Huge play that revitalizes the Crusaders.
So Samuel, bouncing back from that injury, takes it inside the 5-yard line.
Look at that hole.
95-yard line, we'll call it. And Samuel off to the races. That's called out-kicking your coverage, Fred.
Boy, isn't that the truth? And you're supposed to come down in lanes, and there was a breakdown somewhere.
Extra point is good, and if anybody thought Timber Creek was ready to run away, Delsea had something to respond, a quick retort from Taj Samuel. Well, we mentioned before about the prosecutor's office. They said, as a result of our findings, this is the quote from the prosecutor, Mary Ava Kalillo, as a result of our findings, we will close our criminal investigation. However, all evidence associated with the residency rule violations will be forwarded to the state governing body of high school athletics for review, the NJSIAA. So a little bit ominous word there, and obviously we'll see how this plays out. Despite that, you have to credit Rob Hinson and his coaching staff. Timber Creek is ready to play tonight.
Well, Rob Hinson said during the summer he didn't do anything wrong. He was worried about being already convicted in the court of public opinion. He's been cleared of, there was no criminal actions done wrong. Now, the only thing we'll have to see is if there were illegal players that did not live where they're supposed to or did not live in the district, the state can make judgments on that, which includes forfeits of games and stripping of title. We'll have to see how that has yet to be played out.
In fact, from what I understand, after the ruling, a local reporter contacted the state governing body, and they weren't even aware that a ruling had come down.
How about that?
Again, that will take a few weeks to come out in the wash. We'll keep our eyes on it. But let's talk about what we have right in front of us. Great football game. It's Timber Creek on top, 20-14. And again, Delsea will kick it away. Deep kick taken at the 9-yard line, deep in Timber Creek territory. A lot of room. And now, again, you see some of the speed of both of these teams, as Richie just doesn't have the speed that some of these Delsea players have.
And that was Dante Witcher on that return.
I should say Witcher, yeah.
Yeah, he made he tried to run, but he sure wasn't as fast as Taj Samuel. Yeah, sometimes it's interesting, Rob, when things like that go through. Timber Creek can rally behind that because it almost develop a us against the world mentality, and that can actually help your focus.
So it's 1st down and 10 now for the Chargers. They will take over at their own 38-yard line. 7:57 remaining. A very, very hot day or evening here in Franklinville. Leary with one man in the backfield, and he'll hand it off. A rarity for this Timber Creek offense, and it's going to be Jerome Gibson. So, how do you keep a bunch of talented players happy? Give everybody the ball. And that's what's happened tonight.
Yeah, that's really true. And then every once in a while, you can say, look, I'm a running back. I just don't have to block for the quarterback all the time. But that's really true. And they have good athletes. So
3 different players have scored touchdown thanks to the arm of Devin Leary. 2nd down and 4. Again, that's a play that has to keep those defensive backs honest. Leary, 3-step drop, throws it deep, has a man open, right in stride, and finally cut down at the 10-yard line. What a throw once again. Devin Leary hooking up with Dante Hill. They hooked up for the first touchdown tonight. And again, Leary is absolutely lethal.
And Dante last year played at Deptford. This year he has moved into the Timber Creek area. And again, the key to that success is the time that Devin Leary had to throw. He was just waiting for receivers.
Leary out of the shotgun, quick drop, looks, throws, it's deflected, and that'll be 2nd down. That earlier play, a 45-yard hookup from Leary to Hill.
We'll get to see the previous play coming up in here with Leary throwing to Dante Wall Hill. But that last play was a great defensive effort by Taj Samuel. He just stepped in front of the receiver, almost got in position for the interception.
Second down and 10. Timber Creek once again knocking on the door. 7:03 left here in the second quarter. Bunched right. Leary looks, rolls to his right, has a man, throws it up, juggles, but caught, touchdown.
Ezra Archie again on a deep corner, got behind the secondary and just threw for that back pylon. It was a perfect throw by Devin Leary.
Archie, a 10-yard touchdown from Leary. Leary with 4 touchdown passes. Again, right now there just aren't enough superlatives.
That's for sure. He just knows who to throw to, and he knows how to read what he's got to do.
Colucci's kick is up and good.
Wow. All right, we're going to get to see the touchdown play, and we're going to also get to see the long play. That's the touchdown. Look at Leary's throw. Archie does a great job of knowing where he is in the end zone to keep that 1 foot in.
Well, we mentioned that both of these teams have a difficult schedule. Next week doesn't get easier for Timber Creek either. They take on Cherokee.
who's going to be a top 5 team in South Jersey no matter what.
There is never a time when that Cherokee football team isn't one of the top 10 in South Jersey.
Now, you play all these teams in baseball. Are they as good in baseball?
Yes, they are.
It's amazing how all those Indian schools...
Listen, I play the baseball team, so I'm going to tell you the baseball team's better than a football team.
Here's this throw by Leary. Watch his poise, sets his feet, lofts the ball perfectly, and Wall Hill is just wide open. Just a great play.
Well, and again, on that play, Quashawn Fowler on the coverage, but not bad coverage, just a perfectly thrown ball. And with that spread offense, you can see he's got his choice of receivers to throw to. 4 plays, 62-yard, culminating with that 10-yard touchdown pass to Ezra Archie. 4 TD throws on the night for Leary, 2 of them going to the pen-bound Ezra Archie.
You know, Rob, when I coached, we were like Delsea. If we threw the ball 8 times, we were losing because we thought if you threw the ball up in the air, 3 things could happen, and 2 of them were bad.
You know, interesting play there. Timber Creek, kind of a squib kick, but I think if they would have just went with the onside, that Delsea special teams turned their back and did not even realize it was a squib kick. So
and the scouts upstairs will notice that, and they'll keep that in mind.
So the best field position to start a drive thus far for Delsea, because of the squib kick, it will start at the 35-yard line at 1st and 10 and 6:52. They'll probably need about 6:52 to take a drive this far.
Don't give them another chance.
Bourget.
And that play, you ride the fullback, which he did to Rashawn Williams, and then the quarterback follows the fullback right into the hole to try to get the linebacker to suck the Williams, and it did work. It was a nice play by Delsea.
5-yard pickup for Crusaders, 2nd down and 5. Again, Delsea taking their time getting to the line of scrimmage. They want to use as much clock as possible every opportunity they get. Bourget. And this end around, a lot of trouble here as Walker had nowhere to go.
Yeah, great pursuit done by the corners and the linebackers inside for Timber Creek. They are definitely fast. So when you take a slow developing outside running play, they're going to get there.
So a critical 3rd down. You feel like Delsea kind of needs to get at least another 1st down just to eat up more clock.
Agreed.
It not necessarily has to be a score here, but they've got to keep that Timber Creek offense off of the field.
Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do is Timber Creek's going to get the ball to start quarter number 3, and you want to give you an opportunity to get up by 3 scores.
3rd down and 8 now for Bourget and the Crusaders. And again, it's Walker, and Walker continues to go in the wrong direction.
And that was well done, well disciplined by Timber Creek, because Delsea ran a counter, and that's what you hope everybody sucks to the fullback to the inside. Timber Creek stayed at home, made the play, gets the ball back.
One of the things that Sal Marquez expressed concerns about was his line play, only 1 returner. And right now, you have to say that Timber Creek is starting to win that battle.
Yeah, I think so, and that was going to be a huge, huge plus for Delsea if they could control the line of scrimmage.
So again, it's going to be Bourget to kick it away. He has shown a powerful right foot. And Bourget again will angle it towards the sideline, and this one won't be returned. So Timber Creek will take over with 4:27 remaining in this first half, and the Crusaders have yet to force the Chargers to punt.
And Rob, I think you said very, very good situation for that. I think the big thing if Delsea could get a stop on Timber Creek's offense, and they could start to feel good about themselves, because right now Timber Creek is, for every one of their drives, going right down to the end zone. Here's Leary's statistics: 11 for 15 passing, 233 yards and 4 TDs. Rob, Dan Williams of Timber Creek a few years ago threw for 536 yards. He's on pace.
You might want to add him to your fantasy team, Fred.
Well, I'm telling you.
looks like we have encroachment here against Delsea, so one thing you don't want to do is make it any easier for them.
That's for sure. Basically, if you're Delsea's Coach Maxwell, what you're trying to do now is have something positive turn out. An interception, a fumble, a stop, anything positive that can build up your defense.
Leary, quick drop throws in and out of the hands of his intended receiver.
And drop passes help too.
That's shade, Blaine Shade. You know, Delsea came out, and again, we talked about if you could script an opening drive, it went perfectly for Delsea.
Absolutely.
A long, protracted drive, ate up clock, scored a touchdown, took the lead. Timber Creek comes right back, misses the field goal, but it seemed as though they were a little bit stunned at just how easily Timber Creek could move down the football field.
Yes, and I think, you know, kids are kids. They read all the papers, they see the hype.
2nd down and 5, and it's going to be 1st down and 10 now.
Yeah. Now, what we may not be noticing is, and this could be another good thing for Devin Leary, he's probably changing his cadence.
Yep.
And it's probably being very, very successful. Also shows pretty good discipline by Timber Creek.
Here you get a good look at Leary. We mentioned just some of the bigger schools in the nation interested in the quarterback, Leary. Junior, 6'2", 185. I mean, just a great build. Truly a bright future for this young man. Trips right. Leary hands it off, and not much doing for the Chargers.
First time we've seen Timber Creek in the pistol position. In the pistol position, the quarterback will be deep from center, but there'll be a running back behind them, and that helps for more vision when we come around.
There you see Devin Leary. So Fred, as a former football coach, you have Leary, again, Florida, South Carolina, Boston College, Rutgers, the biggest schools. Doesn't play, he's playing baseball in the offseason. If you're a potential school, do you want him to say, listen, let's just stay in the weight room, let's continue to work on football here?
And that's exactly what they will say next year. However, I just want everybody to know that Coach Chris was putting that word into Rob Hinson's ear this year, that he should definitely not play baseball this year, should stay in the weight room.
Well, ironically, we do open up against Timber Creek this year, but I'm just asking questions because, you know, I like when my players play multiple sports, but, you know, he's got a very bright future as a quarterback, maybe a professional future. Long run here on the way towards the end zone, and that's a touchdown.
Boy, just a great run by Harold Coleman. He knew exactly where he was going to run. He kept his legs going. He kept his vision open, and into the end zone he goes. That's a crusher because they score off a run.
Well, again, they've shown that they can do it every which way.
And what you were saying before, that is really true. Next year, when he decides to sign, the coaches will probably tell him to stay in the weight room unless he really enjoys playing baseball.
So Coleman with the impressive run and a little mix-up here. So a moral victory for the Crusaders as they will stop Colucci from completing the extra point. 33-14 now with 3:27 left.
Yeah, bobbled snap. The snap was a little bit low, but it couldn't be handled by the holder, and there just was no opportunity to get that kick off. And we're going to get to see this touchdown run by Harold Coleman. Watch how he follows his blockers, stays disciplined, keeps his legs going, knows exactly where he wants to go, and there he goes. Great run by Harold Coleman.
53-yard touchdown run for Coleman. And again, this is very impressive, this Timber Creek offense. And, you know, you mentioned, you know, you have Hall coming from Deptford. They have even more players coming. Smith is coming over from Williamstown, and they're just going to get better.
Yeah, Coach Hinson was telling us he's going to sit 30 days, so he'll be able to play on October the 9th. He said it was a Black Horse Pike regional decision to have him sit 30 days.
Wait, is this on?
And then he was a fabulous player for Williamstown. There it is, 5 plays, 70 yards, 53-yard run by Harold Coleman, number 22 for the score.
And again, it's a squib kick here. After Samuel's return, you can see why. So Delsea takes it again deep in their own end, and they'll have 3:24. This may force Bourget to go to the air once or twice.
Right, and what you basically, now we're looking at Delsea's offense, because since their the kickoff, they really haven't had much offensive to come around. They want to do some successful things so they can get into the locker room. Coach Marquez and his fine staff can make some adjustments, and back they'll come in the second half.
First and 10 for the Crusaders. Bourget hands it off, and again, things have changed. Nothing there.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's basically what you said happened. It's happened on those, what we call the TNTs, the nose, the tackles, have just kind of taken over the physicality of the game.
Second down, inside of 3 minutes left, 10 to go for Sal Marquez. Now, Fred, do you start to go to the air here? You see Rob Hinson and Timber Creek staff. Do you start to go to the air, or do you say, you know what, let's get to the locker room and regroup?
I'm going to the locker room and regrouping, because you're doing things you normally don't do. Well, here we go.
Bourget throws, he's hit and slung down.
Ball's on the ground. And it will be recovered by Delsea. Boy, just a great hit.
Again, you see some of that line play that we talked about, and right now Timber Creek is just having their way inside the trenches.
Good move by Coach Hinson. He's called timeout here. Stop the clock. And then we'll get to see it again. Watch this drive. Look at the push by the here comes 82. Just puts it under. The ball goes on the ground. It's right at the feet and recovered by Delsea. But yes, they've definitely taken over the line of scrimmage. There's definitely no ifs, ands, or buts. But
Big hit was laid out by Anthony Brown.
good move by Coach Hinson. He's now going to get Leary the ball with time to score again. I mean, 2 minutes and 18 seconds. They might be able to score twice.
See Anthony Brown right in the middle of that huddle, number 65. Third down and 14, 2:18 left for the Crusaders. First half, Bourget hands to Samuel, double inside reverse, and again, nothing doing.
Yeah, famous wing T play called either counter crisscross or back-to-back, but the linemen stayed at home, which is what they do, and we're going to get Leary's going to have a little bit over 2 minutes to work his magic.
Well, I mean, they could come away here scoring 40 points in the first half. That's something to
And I don't
be
think
impressed with.
I don't think Delsea's ever given up 40 points in a half.
I mean, again, you're talking about against a four-time repeat champion.
Absolutely. But the key that everybody has to remember, if you're a Delsea fan watching it, it's September the 9th. It's the first game of the season. Things are going to definitely get better. And you can see, here's the National Division. You can see how good this is with the teams. Hamilton 9-2 last year. Delsea, Timber Creek, Kingsway, new coach Mark Hendricks. We'll see how that goes. Clearview and Pensauken. But the top three teams could easily be in the finals down at Rowan on December.
What's Tony going to do without the cornfield?
So here we go. Again, 2:12 left. And Bourget will punt it away. He has angled towards the sidelines the last few times to negate the kick or punt return game of Timber Creek. We'll see whether they opt to do that again. Bourget angles toward the sideline once again. It will bounce out of bounds just inside of midfield.
And that's going to give Devin Leary not only just 2 minutes, but he's got a short field to work with. And that will be dangerous for Delsea, that's for sure.
.205 left. Here come the Chargers. Leary, empty backfield, 5 receivers set. Trips right. Almost another offsides here by the Crusaders. Leary fakes the handoff, throws across the middle, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. It looked like he was trying to find Hill.
Yeah, once again, that little ride, hope that freezes the linebackers, and then send your receiver on a quick post over the middle, and that would have been a big gainer if he held on to it. Watch again. Fake that jet sweep ride, set up, throw. Perfect ball. Second down.
Second and 10. Chargers just inside their own territory. Again, 1 receiver set for Leary. Leary with a lot of time, throws it deep over the middle, has his man, but it falls incomplete again. Looking for Pierce.
Who was open.
He has shared the wealth. Pierce has been on the receiving end on more than one of his passes today, but this time it falls incomplete.
And you see again, nice step back, watches, waits, delivers the ball, gives it plenty of air, but just a little too much. But Pierce was definitely open.
You have to like the ball that Leary throws.
Very catchable.
Yeah.
Extremely catchable.
Has great touch, in addition to excellent vision, a pocket presence that is intuitive.
Sounds like he should play for the Eagles.
They have a first-round pick, I hear. First, third down in some time, and in and out of the hands. Timber Creek may be stopped for the first time tonight.
And Jake Hallowell, first time we got to really say some good things. He dropped back to cover Archie when he went out on that side, made his presence there. And are they going to punt? Absolutely.
Wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Well, here's Leary.
Maybe he'll be the punter. Who knows? Well, unless we're going to see a little poocher here, this is very interesting. And he's definitely too close to pooch punt.
Leary, quick drop, gets pressure, throws, has his man, first down. Archie. Nick McDonald on the stop.
Well, there goes my punt. Boy, it was a perfect throw again by Leary, and supreme confidence that a receiver was going to get open. Great route by Archie.
You know, interesting decision by Hinson. I think the
Absolutely.
fact that Delsea has really struggled to get off the ball made it a little bit easier for him.
And that could be true.
Leary again, out of the pistol. Rolls to his right. A lot of time. Keeps. And brought down.
That'll keep the clock running, which is what Delsea wanted. Timber Creek still has timeouts to use. We'll see it. Here we watch again. Watch this play that got Archie open. Archie runs that quick seam or quick post that we want to call it. Got himself wide open, and just a great throw by Leary.
21-yard hookup on that play. Again, out of the shotgun. Here we have a penalty flag, and it's Leary. Look at the ball. A laser finds shade. We'll see who the flag is against.
I think this is coming back. This is going to come back. It's probably going to be an illegal procedure. There's a possibility that they didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage. But if it is, Rob, kind of interesting that with 59 seconds, it would be the first penalty that would be called on Timber Creek.
That's a good point, Fred. It's a disciplined team that we've seen, this Chargers team. Referees are talking about it, and they may wave it off. We'll see.
Yeah, how about this? He looks like he's going to talk to the umpire. That's Jimmy Pudaback on the left and Mark Finelli. Both of them have been through high school football for a lot of years. But the ball's been brought back, so looks like a legal procedure, I think, is called. Nope, illegal substitution. That's a substitution infraction. It was called by the side judge, or the line judge on that side, but that's going to be a penalty, the first one of the day, and it's on a sub either coming in late or coming in and joining. If you have 12 players in the huddle and they break, that's an illegal substitution.
Timber Creek is doing just fine with 11.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's the truth. Yeah, you can play with 10, but you can't play with 12.
Well, you can if you get away with it.
That's for sure. That's true. Penn State did that one time against Alabama. They asked the Bear what happened. He said it's hard to run against a 4-4-4. So
that's funny. All right, Leary again out of the shotgun. And again, Delsea calls timeout. I think Sal Marquez had hoped to save some of those timeouts, but at this point, you've got to make sure you stop the bleeding.
Correct. And the one thing they don't want to do is give Timber Creek a score, because Timber Creek's going to get the ball to start off period 3. So you don't want to make it any worse than the score reads right now. But here's again something that's interesting. Delsea is not, it's very difficult for Delsea to come behind because they're going to use up so much time.
That's right.
But Timber Creek, who could score so quick, could be in the opposite of this score, and they're still not out of the game.
We see some of the nice crowd on hand. Everybody's ready for the start of football season. Of course, Thursday night we had the start of the NFL season, and most college teams started their season last week. And now it's high school time here in the state of New Jersey. PA started the week previous, and a lot of games on tonight here in South Jersey, and weather more typical of the middle of summer. Here we have early September. It's been a hot summer, Fred, and hopefully we have a schedule to match for you this year
I
on
hope
the
so.
GCN. Atlantic City Electric, our chief sponsor, and we're very lucky to bring you high school football. 49 seconds left again for Leary, working. Man in motion, he fakes. Leary has time in the pocket, throws against the grain, has his man, and again, it's a touchdown.
Boy, that was an outstanding play, because when you get a chance to look at it again, they did an X, both backs did an X in the backfield, and then number 2 for Timber Creek, which is Witcher, just continued out on what's called a wheel route to the outside. Nobody went with him, and it was almost like stealing.
Well, with this extra point, Timber Creek would put up 40 points.
Wow.
In the first half. Colucci's kick is up, and it's good.
If we get to see this play again, watch the backfield action, and then watch number 2, who lines up on the left side of Leary, just continues up, runs the wheel pattern to the outside. Nobody goes with him, and then Leary picked it up quickly, threw it right to him. 6 points.
Well, 5 touchdown passes.
Here, well, watch the backfield action. That will set up everything. Watch, fake. There goes 2, wide up. Nobody goes with him. Great throw by Leary. Touchdown.
Fred, you could have caught that ball.
I don't know.
Yeah, trust me. This is where, again, Leary just...
Well, the one thing I do like, because he does throw a nice soft ball that comes into your hands, and he puts the good air in it so you can run right into it.
Yep.
So maybe I could. 7 plays, 51 yards, 31-yard touchdown pass. I don't know how many yards he's got. Zach's going to tell us in a few minutes, but it's got to be really impressive.
Well, they talked about him setting the state record for passing yards.
Right.
He's got a good chance
Yeah, I'll
2
tell you.
more years, and you're playing one of the top teams, and this is what you're doing.
That's true.
That tells you everything.
285.
It's kind of interesting, and Sal is really a great coach, and he's an aggressive coach in this time. But I think right now, with 35 seconds, I think I'm taking a knee.
Well, we'll see. Timber Creek with 0 timeouts remaining, so you may want to throw the ball, and then
You got that chance.
you can always run out the clock. The fear, of course, is if you take a knee, are you sending a message to the players?
Well, that's true, and that's well put. You don't want to ever think that you're surrendering. That's true. That's a good point. So run your offense.
Samuel in motion, and again, look at the penetration of that Timber Creek line. And that will likely be the last play, as Williams, who started out so well, has been totally neutralized by this Timber Creek defensive front.
And boy, that's the $1 million answer right there. It's the line of scrimmage has just been taken over by Timber Creek.
So Delsea will allow time to elapse. It was not the way they wanted to see things go. Their first drive was spectacular, but after that, it's been all Timber Creek. We head to the first half. It is Timber Creek on top of the Delsea Crusaders, 40-14 on your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. Welcome back to Delsea High School. Timber Creek on top, 40-14, your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. Rob Christ along with Fred Swartz. We're about to start things here in the second half, and the bad news for the Crusaders is that Timber Creek is going to start with the football.
And if we look at the statistics from the first half, it's kind of interesting. 356 yards for Timber Creek in the first half, 4 first downs for Delsea. Every one of them was on drive number 1. No yards passing, 49 rushing yards. More than that came on the first drive, so they've been going backwards ever since then. Good news, though, it's half number 2. You've had a chance to regroup. You've had a chance to make adjustments. Let's see what happens.
Short kick down at the 28-yard line. And again, and speaking, I won't mention one of the Delsea coaching staff. They said, I don't think we've ever had 40 points scored against us in a game, let alone a half. And, one of his concerns was that with the spread offense, the way Leary has been on tonight, his efficacy is that if you give a guy literally a foot, then you're going to get burnt. And that's what it's come to. And it's tough to win when you have to be perfect. Leary working out of the shotgun, starting things here for the Chargers offense. Rocket screen, and one of the few miscues we've seen from Timber Creek.
Yeah, when you're Coach Hinson at this time, you want your kids to keep their focus. The hardest thing is to walk into the halftime, you're up by 26 points, you say, we've got this game. Football can change dramatically, quickly.
One of the good things for Delsea, and there's certainly a lot of football to be played yet, but one of the good things for Delsea is they will not be facing Timber Creek again this year.
That's correct. Or maybe even a team this good.
Yeah.
It's 13 for 22.
Whistle on the field.
Injury timeout.
And again, I'm sure Sal, when he was in the locker room, it's no panic situation. It's just, look, we have to go back to the things we're doing well. Sal likes to call everything as a process. So we have to learn to become better every day at practice, each game becomes better and better. So what he's looking at the second half to be is make things be better for Delsea, and then you never know. Timber Creek turns the ball over, Timber Creek doesn't advance, we'll be in good shape.
Well, I hope that I'm wrong, but this is something that you see quite a bit when it's hot out, and I got to suspect that we're going to see a lot more of this.
Yeah, cramping up. And, boy, I remember in the old days when I was playing, they used to give you the worst thing you could ever do. They made us take salt tablets. But basically in here, it's just, boy, those muscles really contract very quickly, and you're going to cramp.
Well, it should be an interesting season. throughout the year. Of course, we'll have it for you here on the GCEN, Atlantic City Electric, our fantastic sponsor. And again, week after week, bringing you some of the top talent in South Jersey. And one of the things we talked about, Fred, before this game with some of the people down on the field is just how rich of a pool South Jersey has talent-wise.
Boy, that is. And, we used to tell the coach that were at Rutgers, if they could keep the South Jersey talent from going outside, they'd have an awful, very good team. For those that watch, we have a couple early scores. Camden Catholic's beating Camden High School 9-7. Probably the biggest surprise, Hamilton beating Washington Township 28-0 at halftime. That's a big surprise in my particular matter. Close between Glassboro and Salem at halftime. And we're all waiting for that big score. Gloucester Catholic and Pittman. Gloucester Catholic trying to end their 25-game losing streak.
Leary throws and in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Pierce.
And second play in a row, ball was, the first play was probably on Leary. The second was on the receiver. And this could really give Delsea some uplift if they can stop Timber Creek, because they haven't done it all night.
Again, one of the things we talked about, though, Fred, this Delsea offense is not many offenses are built for overcoming a 26-point deficit, and Delsea certainly is not one of them.
Statistics on Devin Leary, 285 yards in the first half, 5 touchdown passes.
Again, Leary, 3-step drop, has time, showing off that arm, and misses his intended receiver, looking for Dante Wahill, and 3 and out for Timber Creek, and another player limping off, and that's a bad sign because that's Keelan Bouquet.
Yeah, that's the quarterback, so we'll see if he's able to come right back, but we finally get a chance to see Timber Creek's punter.
It's the first time they didn't score on a drive. So Delsea's Mason Maxwell back to receive the punt. It's high and a fair catch called at the 46-yard line. 1st and 10 Crusaders.
And good field position. It's going to be a short field for the Crusaders. They're looking for positives. Take that ball down, score a touchdown, get back to 40-20. Hope you can continue to make stops, and football's a game, you never know.
I think this is where you go micro. You say, listen, first let's get a 4-yard gain. All right? Then let's get a first down. Hey, let's push deep in their end. Let's score a touchdown. Let's stop them a second time. And again, you try to build on whatever momentum you can generate.
I guess you can accident that in sports. Like if a team took a 5-run lead for you, you don't need all 5 runs in one inning.
Nope.
You just chip away.
Yep. Momentum is always funny thing. And it looked like Timber Creek had some early penetration.
So that's 3 mistakes for Timber Creek in the first 5 plays, which is kind of an indication of, you're losing a little focus a little bit. Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes people that you don't need it all at once. You just need to come by. Yeah, there's quarterback being taken down with the training staff, and that's not a good sign.
Not a lot of positives after that first drive. Samuel, of course, with the kickoff return, but Mason Maxwell will be your new quarterback here for the Crusaders. Maxwell, of course, was on the last punt.
And good positive gains there by Delsea. Going back to what they did in the first drive, that's Rasheed Williams again picking up, and they're going to be really, really close to the first down. So positives right off the bat for Delsea, and we'll see if it can continue.
2nd down and 1. We are just into this 3rd quarter. Last year, the only loss that Delsea suffered was to Hamilton. And right up the gut, that should be enough for a first down.
So there's our first good goal for the Crusaders. They're going to move the football. They've gotten their first down since the first quarter, and they've starting to move into Timber Creek's territory.
Delsea has a rich tradition, as we mentioned. 25 playoff appearances since 1974, and 13 culminating in a sectional title. A playoff record of 769. That's not a regular season record. That's a playoff
pretty impressive.
record.
That's pretty impressive.
Great stats, thanks to our friend Zach Bates helping us out tonight. Pickup of about 3. Second down.
The fans can start to see a little bit about Delsea's offense now. It's geared to just be move forward, get those 3 yards, get those 4 yards, hope that suddenly you lose your discipline and you can get a big play out of it. But this is what Delsea needs to do to be successful and help their young linemen to encounter people like Timber Creek.
And remember that this Timber Creek defense is going to get better when Eric Smith is able to play. Maxwell keeps, and they'll hold him just shy of the first down at about the 35.
That was shades of Quinn Collins, who just was so exceptional here for his time as quarterback. Never lost a championship game. He's now up at Rowan University on their squad as a quarterback. But Maxwell did a nice job of following that fullback into the hole. Watch it again. Watch, he rides the fullback, steps right up, puts his shoulder down, and moves the ball forward.
Third down and short. 8:45 remaining for the Crusaders. See if they go to Williams here. They do. Williams, he'll push, and he'll have enough for the first down.
Yeah, nice run by Williams there because he was stopped before the first down, but just kept those legs spinning. You can see why he's so highly regarded as a fullback.
We mentioned Timber Creek, tough opponent next week in Cherokee. Then they host Clearview, who is pasting on the Eastern Vikings. Then they have a bye week, and then it's Eastern, and then another big showdown with an excellent Camden team.
That's for sure. And anytime you play Camden, you know they're going to be big, you know they're going to be fast, and you know they're going to be dangerous.
So Delsea moving the football now. Right up the gut, it's Williams. Another nice pickup, 7 or 8. Methodically back to that Crusader way.
And that's exactly right. This is going to bring a smile to Sal Marquez's face because it's doing what he wants to do all year. This will pay dividends. The biggest improvement you make as a football team is between game 1 and game 2. Because you've played a game, you learn them from the mistakes. The coaches are going to harp about it all week. You're going to go through it from film sessions.
Paul Sacco tonight getting his 300th career victory in the St. Joe's win over Mainland.
Boy, great job by Mason on that, following again to the left side, following the fullback and getting in. Just great effort right there. He's pretty impressive so far.
Sacco, the all-time South Jersey wins leader. Did you ever coach against him?
Yes, it did. And he's such a great guy. And he's intense. I think he could win with anybody, to be perfectly honest with you. He's as good as coach as anybody came through. Back, that was years and years ago when I was at St. Joe's of Camden, which is now closed. That was years and years ago.
Again, right up the gut, a few yards. I remember Bum Phillips years ago. I'm going way back when he was coaching against Chuck Knoll.
How about that?
Said something to the effect that he'll beat you at his and then he'll take yours and he'll beat you at yours too. So, you know, the idea, of course, is that Chuck Knoll was a phenomenal coach.
Oh, he sure was.
A few words, and again, we were talking prior to coming back from the half about a dynasty out in Iowa. And again, when you have a dynasty like that, or you have success like we have here at Delsea, I mean, immediately you have to point to the coach.
Absolutely. And, I think the key to that is, Sal Marquez said it to the game before us, the kids buy into it. They buy into it. They accept what you teach them. They're willing to do whatever you tell them to do. And that is key. That's all based on the coach.
2nd down and 9, and Maxwell will carry.
A little quarterback counter. So we see right off the bat, Maxwell's not afraid to run the ball.
And what I like is I think Maxwell's kind of seizing the opportunity here. Listen, if Bouguet is hurt, or maybe gives the coaching staff something to think about if he has a successful night.
The one thing I think he's shown is toughness. He's not afraid to go in there, and Delsea's going to win games with running the football, so he could be a very good addition to them.
3rd down, about 6. Williams, your lone running back. Maxwell rolls out of the pocket, looks for a man. He'll keep. Maxwell angling, and he'll be brought down at about the 5. Maxwell has brought some life into this offense.
Boy, he sure has. And that was, again, that waggle. And the tight end runs a flag pattern to the deep part of the end zone. Was covered, as you'll see here. Fakes that sweep, gets upset. I don't know. I think he was going to run the ball no matter what. And he just really, really does a good job getting down and getting the 1st down and into goal line area. This is where Delsea excels.
Well, again, Delsea has to be happy. They're moving the football. And, again, despite the fact that eating up the clock is kind of counterproductive in some means, I think Sal Marquez is more than happy to make this a shorter football game.
I agreed with that, and it also helps to build your morale with your players that this is what Delsea football can do.
Yep. Williams looks like he's a little bit shaken up, and again, you can just see the body language from Delsea. They recognize this is not the outcome that
they wanted.
Yep.
And another factor you said earlier in the game, it's been so warm that it's got to wear you down a bit.
Sure.
Rashid Williams is on both sides of the ball. He's the fullback, he's the middle linebacker, and boy, those legs got to start to get heavy.
2nd down and goal. Clock continues to move. We're down to 3:40 and counting. Right up the gut, pushing towards the end zone, but denied.
And again, Samuel on that straight down play or straight option play to the fullback, and he wanted to score. His legs were rolling on that one, that's for sure.
That's a lot of young man right there.
That is for sure. I know they had a 300-pounder and a 290.
Isaiah Bolden is listed at 350 pounds.
I believe he's every bit of it.
He is their version of the refrigerator.
Absolutely. Touchdown.
Maxwell, touchdown.
Nice drive by Delsea. 54 yards, well orchestrated by Mason Maxwell. Just what the Crusaders needed.
So Delsea will look to cut down the lead a little bit more with the extra point attempt. 2:49 left. And Holcraft on to attempt the point after. Kick is up. And the kick is good. It's 40-21 now. And Delsea answers back to start this 3rd quarter. That's a good sign if you're a Crusader fan.
Absolutely. We were looking for positives. They got it. Now it becomes interesting because Timber Creek did not do well on their first drive, made some mistakes, dropped some passes. Here we get to see this again and watch Mason Maxwell. Smells that end zone, sees it, and gets across. Great job, son. But I think that pressure's on now for, I'm sure Hinson's told his offense, hey, let's go back to doing what we were doing. Let's focus up. Let's pretend to score 0-0 where we just fell behind. Let's go back and score some points.
You know, in speaking with Sal Marquez before the game, I said, well, what are the keys to today? And first he says, we need to control the football. Well, there was a drive where they controlled the football. Of course, the opening drive, they controlled the football, but other than that, they have not controlled the football. And the other thing is, he said, we got to limit mistakes. I don't know that they've made a lot of mistakes tonight, and that's, again, a credit to that Timber Creek football team.
Yeah, agreed. And I'll tell you what, the one thing that looks really good on that is the 14 play, because high school teams usually can't keep a football for 14
That's
plays.
a great point, Fred. So, do you kick an onside kick here?
No. Just go play straight football. Now watch, they'll do it, and they'll really be in trouble.
Short, high kick taken at the 28-yard line. Continuing, it's Coleman. He had a touchdown earlier. Coleman across midfield. Coleman still on his feet. Coleman with nothing but clear sailing. Coleman, touchdown.
Wow. That's the last thing you wanted to happen, but just a great effort, great blocking. If we get to see a replay, then one thing I'm sure Coach Hinson will be showing off, one of the people behind the ball just laid a leveling block on Delsea. And although it probably makes you feel good, it's not what you want to do because an official could bring back that call.
Well, Coleman with his second touchdown, he had a 53-yard touchdown run earlier. And now he takes the kick and adds to his impressive evening and the impressive evening of this Timber Creek team.
A little danger here. The quarterback that's being treated for cramps, that's Mason Maxwell again. So Delsea's going to get the ball right back. And I'm hoping it's a cramp and they're not working on a knee, but there's another one down on the opposite side.
It's going to be complaint because I don't know where he caught the ball from.
I guess we didn't have to worry about what Timber Creek's offense was going to do. We never got a chance to see him.
No, that's not the way you want to keep him off the field.
That's for sure, though. Watch this again. He takes his time, sets up the block.
62-yard return here.
How about that? Watch when he hits here. Now watch near the end of the plays. Great blocking. Watch the Timber Creek kid come across. Bang, right there. Now it's legal. Absolutely done well, and I'm sure that person will remember it, but just a great run. Looks like he even cramped up at the end.
Well, we mentioned this is something we're probably going to see a lot more of, and now it's on to option number 3. Cheyenne Brooks, a sophomore, is warming in case Maxwell is unable to continue at the quarterback position. And you can see Maxwell's upset because this is his opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
He's engineered a successful drive, and now you can see he's really favoring the one leg.
By the way, Chance, with Maxwell right there is Kevin Briles. Kevin Briles is one of the best trainers in South Jersey. He's used for wrestling championships, cross-country championships, track championships. Does a fabulous job here at Delsea.
Next week, Glassboro and Paulsboro, longtime foes. We had some great playoff matchups back in the day between Glassboro and Paulsboro. And now they get to meet during the regular season thanks to the West Jersey Football League.
And back in the old days, they were Thanksgiving Day rivals. So my dad played for Glassboro.
Wow.
And he said he got his only cheer was when they beat Pittman, and he got knocked down, and everybody had to come up, and they helped him off the field. He said he was a guard. He said that's the only time he ever got cheered. But that was, whoever won that game was like the king of the world. Now it's probably the largest betting game ever. Down by the end zone in Paulsboro, there'll be people from Paulsboro and Glassboro betting on every play.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Well, don't advertise.
I was going to say it happens 2 times. It either happens in the Glassboro-Paulsboro game or the Paulsboro-Woodbury game. There's some great action down there.
Of course, it's not money they're betting.
No, they're betting. They're actually betting on who's going to drive to the next game.
Yeah, who's going to do the launch?
That makes sense. That's right. Or who's buying dinner maybe or something
there
like that.
would be no illegal activities.
That's exactly right.
At a high school game, that would never happen.
Meanwhile, the extra point was good, so we're still going along. Now, in case you're wondering, high school football does have a mercy rule. The team has to be ahead by 35 points. If they're ahead by 35 points, then there's a running clock. It would only stop on injuries or penalties. somewhere then scores.
Kicked away again. The squib kick out of the hands of Delsea on the ground, and Delsea recovers back at their 26-yard line. And
I don't know whether you got to see number 33 for Timber Creek sprinted down the field and almost got the football. Look at this, Dancing with the Stars.
wow, I didn't know about that.
How
So
about that?
who are you one of those guys?
Please, if I were out there, I'd be falling down in the first 2 minutes.
So I don't know if maybe Stan Ritter in the truck can tell us who some of the stars
he
are.
might be there. He might be in it.
Stan Ritter is one of the stars?
Who knows?
Oh my God.
I heard it was Zach Bates.
Michael Jones, Jody Provenus, Mary Schmidt-Reed,
All right.
Dean Auer, Yvonne Giovanetti. And one more that we'll get a little bit later. But Fred, I'm going to nominate you next year.
Oh, I'll tell you, I'm ready.
I think you should have a dance-off with Stan.
I think that'd be great.
And
Stan will win.
The two of you together, that would be 4 left feet.
Boy, you ain't lying on that. That's for sure. Then we could add Zach Bates to the deal. So he'd be pretty
He might
good
even
too.
be your partner.
Oh, good God, we're in trouble. Oh my God. Then we'll have 15 left feet.
Second down for the Crusaders. Inside of 2 minutes remaining now in this third quarter. And Delsea at this point it's become a game of attrition after losing 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess the only good thing you look on this one is, God forbid if this happens later on in the season, at least you get experience for your quarterbacks.
And as much as Maxwell would like to play at this point, what's the point in risking your season? Maxwell, a critical performer on this team. And again, you just never know when your number's going to be called. Cheyenne Brooks, probably in preparation for Timber Creek, said, I don't have a chance of playing in this game. And here he is in the third quarter.
And that's a very good point, because when I was coaching, we used to all tell a kid,
Next
you never
man
know.
up, right?
Yeah, you never know when your opportunity's coming. And when you get it, you may never get another one.
That's what your wife used to tell you, right?
She says that all the time. I'm telling you, no doubt about it. Maybe she says who? I don't know.
Until you bring home the paycheck.
Well, that works.
The last participant, Laura Trace. So, from West Deptford Little Theater. So she's probably got the inside track.
I think so. I'm voting
she's
for
dealing
her.
with theater.
Yeah, I'm voting for her.
That'll be fun to watch. I can't wait till next year when I pull up the satellite dish and watch you and Stan go.
Yeah, absolutely. We're ready. The good news is,
do you think that when Stan competes next year, will they allow him to wear his baseball hat?
I think they have no choice.
We're hearing nothing from the truck, Fred. So.
That sounds good to me. We heard some crickets. Look out.
All right, so time out on the field. 53 seconds left in this third quarter. And again, Delsea, it doesn't get easier for them. Next week, Cedar Creek, the Group 2 champion. I shouldn't say it doesn't get easier. With all due respect to Cedar Creek.
Yeah, they got Delsea.
They're already up the creek against Timber Creek.
Yeah,
and now they got to go.
Look at that one. It's interesting. They're going to see another good quarterback, because Cedar Creek has a very, very good young quarter. Well, he's going to be a senior this year. Really played well against West Deptford in the championship game last year. So they'll have him plus Bo Melton to run and also to catch passes.
3rd down and 8. Back to pass. Brooks has his man wide open, in and out of the hands. A little bit behind his intended receiver, and that looked to be Quashon Fowler.
And he was definitely open, had a few steps. He hits him in stride. That play's going a long way. You could see the defensive backs from Timber Creek talking about blown coverages. Watch this throw. This is Mason Maxwell making the throw. And if it was on target, it was a long game.
Ball underthrown, and obviously not a perfectly thrown ball or even perhaps a well-thrown ball, but, Fowler probably said, I should have had that ball.
Absolutely.
But you can't blame him there, and it's hard to blame Brooks. He's coming in cold from the bench. So remember, Bouguet was the punter as well, so they're
That's
without
true.
a quarterback and a punter. Short hop. It looks like he didn't field it on the knee, so that was a bonus. Picked up on one bounce and driven out of bounds. First down and 10 for Creek at 37 seconds left in this third quarter. 5 punts on the night for Delsea. And, that's as much as they talk about, I don't remember giving up 40, 47 points. They probably don't remember punting the ball 5 times either.
You're right. Watch this again. We'll see if his knee went to the ground. He scooped. Oh.
Yep.
Gotcha.
That's one of those mercy calls.
Okay. I'll go with you.
I know referees are supposed to not call things by the score, but I think that was one of those instances.
Well, we'll see if Timber Creek's offense can move this time. Quick play again to Archie.
Cut down at about the 43-yard line, and that's Roan on the reception.
There was a very, very famous referee one time, God rest his soul, named Charlie Mullen.
Charlie Mullen?
Charlie Mullen.
Okay.
And after you would get so many points, he would yell over and say, "No more today, coach." So if one of your kids broke a touchdown run, a yellow flag was coming out. He would say, "That's all you're getting tonight."
As much as many officials would argue otherwise, same thing in baseball. I mean, they'll
sure.
come over and they'll tell you this. Listen, I'm telling you right now, this strike zone is going to get a lot bigger. Well, that's 3 quarters in the book. It's been Timber Creek's night. They lead on your Atlantic City Electric game of the night, or game of the week. Leary, rocket screen, and nothing doing.
Hey, nice effort by Delsea's defense on that particular play. That was a play that was really hurting them in the first half. They made the adjustments and took care of that, and that's got to be another plus for Delsea.
Want to thank my good friend Mark Narducci, who just handed me the 2016 high school preview. He does a phenomenal job for the Philadelphia Inquirer, and also puts out a book that is unrivaled. Go to your local convenience store. It's free and it's fantastic. So always something I have an opportunity to allude to during the course of the year and utilize. So thank you, my friend. Third down. Leary. Deep drop. Goes deep. Has a man. Caught. Touchdown.
Boy, no, just like the first half. Great throw. The receiver got himself wide open.
57-yard touchdown pass. And again, it's been that kind of night for Leary as he hooks up.
You said no post game?
And again, we
With Roan.
talked at the beginning about Delsea trying to stop the big play. They had done a great job on downs 1 and number 2 and then give up the big home run.
We'll update it later in a second.
So Timber Creek will look to add to their lead. Tyler Coluccio. And the kick is good.
Well, here's not a good sign. If we look on the sidelines, we have the ambulance coming out on the sideline for Delsea. We're going to find out which player. Looks like we can see a player down right by the coaching box area. Anything from heat exhaustion to, well, we don't even gather guess. We just hope everything's okay for him.
So let's talk a little Timber Creek here. Of course, last year they defeated Shawnee in the South Jersey Group 4 game 28-24. The year prior, it was Shawnee who defeated Timber Creek 28-7. In 2013, Shawnee also over Timber Creek 31-22. So those teams back and forth each of the last 3 years. And again, in 2011, Timber Creek was not in the South Jersey Group 4 final, and that's because they won the South Jersey Group 3 final over Hamilton 33-7.
Yeah, we only had 4 groups back then, and then made the decision to go to 5 groups. It was interesting, the one time that our player there, hopefully that we're going to root very, very much for his number, looks like number 58 of Delsea. But the one interesting one, the one year they lost to Shawnee 31-22, Walsh, the quarterback from Shawnee, set up a great pattern. He sat back in the shotgun, waited for the back judge to start his clock with 5 seconds. They ran every play after letting the clock run 20 seconds, and it really frustrated them. Here's a look at our schedule. You can see right off the bat, Delsea having Timber Creek, then Paul VI, Holy Spirit, all good teams. East, Kingsway, Eastern, Woodrow Wilson, who's supposed to be good this year. And then Clearview on the last time. Delsea does not play a Thanksgiving Day game. They haven't for the last few years.
So kicked away, and Delsea once again will start deep in their own end, about the 25-yard line at 10:52 left.
And we're going to take a look right here at the last touchdown. Watch Leary rolling left, set up, sits his feet, really throws that ball up in the air and hits Roan right inside. He made a nice catch, steps into the end zone. 6 for Timber Creek. Yeah, I think we're looking again. We're seeing a lot of players starting to really feel that heat right now.
So Leary's had quite a few passing touchdowns tonight. He's been on fire, and we mentioned in the open that he is an incredible talent, and that has been on display. 7 touchdowns passing tonight.
And we'll have to check with Mark Narducci here, but that's...
That ties the all-time record in South Jersey. Brian Oprah from Florence in 1992 and Kareem Gilliard from Woodrow Wilson in 1992 each had 7 touchdown passes. So that has tied a South Jersey record.
And it looks like we started to see some number 2s in for Timber Creek. And at this time of the game, looks like mass substitutions done by both teams. At this time, also becomes pretty interesting because these are a lot of people that want their opportunity to play. Maxwell back in, looks like, at quarterback.
Six touchdowns is what I thought. A statistical hiccup from our friend here. So six touchdowns. So that puts him tied for 3rd place. One more would tie the South Jersey record.
First chance of looking at the jet sweep run by Delsea, in which the in-motion back grabs the ball at full speed, races out towards the sideline to outflank all the defenders.
Third down and 6 now for the Crusaders. I would not be surprised if Hinson and Timber Creek is familiar with the South Jersey record, and they would love to get Devin Leary that record. Quite a run here from Delsea. On his feet all the way down the sideline and finally slung out of bounds. Walker with the big run.
And Walker was a starting running back last year and this year. Showed his speed right on that time. That was a great turn to the corner and a great run.
So 6 touchdowns tonight. Passing, the last time that was done is 2014, Matt Vitale from Paul VI. And Dan Williams the year prior from Timber Creek, also with 6 touchdown passes, along with Dylan Cummings that year, who had a tremendous career at Pennsville. Delsea continues to run the full football and push the line forward.
And
Maxwell back into the game.
good to see him back in running the ball. Delsea would like to just continue to move down, get some more points, feel a little good about themselves. I think what we'll probably see is Hinson will probably not want to take a chance in the heat conditions and bring in his twos, but we'll see what happens when they come up. Because really, Timber Creek's only had 3 offensive series in the entire second half.
Second down and 5. And touchdown, Samuel.
Great job.
Samuel's second touchdown of the night. And Delsea continues to show why they're a champion. They refuse to give up the fight.
And that was a great drive for them. Went a lot to the jet sweeps, which are those sprints to the outside. But it's always good to get points on the board. It always makes you feel better.
So Larry Holdcraft on to attempt the point after. And the kick is up. It's good. 54-27. I hope you had the over.
I did. The over and under was 75. Here it is again. Watch the quick jet sweep coming up to Samuel. Finds his opening, cuts up, scores.
Well, again, both of these teams will have a lot of say in what happens at the end of the year.
That's correct, and they've shown that over the past 4 years. Delsea's won the last 4 consecutive Group 3 championships. Timber Creek's played 5. Here's the scoring drive, 5 plays, 74 yards, and Taj Samuel with that 5-yard run, and also Charles Walker's great long run that set up that touchdown.
So we'll see if Leary comes out on the field again.
Yeah, it's difficult to think now. I mean, the one thing you don't want to do is get the kid hurt, but I'm sure he still wants to play. We'll see what transpires.
Hey, Mark, can they have all on that? Can they have all on that? Thanks, Mark.
It'll be a kickoff here once again for Delsea. 8:32 left. Atlantic City Electric game of the week. And should be an interesting season for Glassboro and Paulsboro, who we will see next week. What are your thoughts, Fred? Who do you like in that game?
Well, I kind of like Paulsboro. They very rarely lose at home. They have a very good quarterback brought back who got some experience last year when Carlton Aiken went down. And Glenn Howard just does a masterful job at setting up game plans. But you can never count out. I understand there's a very, very good running back for Glassboro this year. And one thing's for sure, they'll go after each other.
Well, we mentioned before about all the rich talent in South Jersey. We've got some very good coaches as well, and Glenn Howard is certainly one of them. Squib kick taken at the 20. Across the 30, still on his feet, now to the 40. Across midfield. Still on his feet, and just another concern for the Delsea. Their special teams have kind of let them down here in the second half, but I mean, in fairness,
That's true.
Momentum's a funny thing.
Momentum is a funny thing, and that was just a great effort. There were some great blocks thrown along the way, and we're going to find out right now if we see Leary or if we're going to see number 2. Look at this run again. Watch this block coming straight up. Boom. He's nice and balanced, puts that hand down to make sure that he doesn't go down, follows his blocks. We do not have Leary again. We're in the number 2 quarterback and number 2 offense for Timber Creek.
Blaine Shade on the return. So Leary will not tie the South Jersey record unless there's unforeseen circumstances and he re-enters, but he will be tied for 3rd with a host of players having 6 touchdown passes in one game, and he has had himself quite a night. Inside reverse, sweep.
And nice situation for these kids. They get to play, they get some action, they practice all week. Usually they're the ones running Delsea's offense against Timber Creek's defense, so a chance for them to get a little time in.
Taekwon Higgs, the senior, on the carry. 7:15 and counting, 54-28 Creek. Quick drop, still throwing the football, and no one home.
And you can see the difference, and the young quarterback will get that. He didn't set his feet. The receiver went down, ran just like a little dig route outside, was open, but when you don't throw your feet and you keep your elbow, don't keep your elbow up, the ball's going to go straight down to the ground. That's what happened. Now this will be interesting. I think we're going to have a field goal attempt. Coach Hinson said before he likes this kid from anywhere under 50 yards. So
he kicked over 60 yards in a camp down in North Carolina. So.
Wow. Well, this is a chance from looks like 46 yards. Nope, it's going to be even 47 now.
Kick is good, long enough. No, just shy.
Yeah, it's good practice again for Coluccio to see exactly what he can do in a game situation. He certainly can kick from beyond 40.
It was deceptive. It looked like it had plenty of air underneath it and just seemed to die. It's like one of my fastballs back when I played.
Well, one of the balls that I hit that I thought was a home run and get caught by the shortstop. So
that's right. So Delsea will take over with 6:48 left.
And again, a nice deal for Coach Hinson, putting his number twos in, realizing he's got enough points, he doesn't have to worry about losing the game, and it gives everybody else a chance to play.
All but the final score has been determined in this game. And this is a game where, again, we talked about just how hot it is out on the field. You're just trying to avoid injury at this point.
Right. And I think you alluded earlier, you said, I mean, these are a chance for these kids to get an opportunity to play, to show the coaches what they can do.
Looking at my phone now, 9:23 p.m., and it is 87 degrees outside.
Yeah, that's pretty hot. That's definitely hot.
So the clock continues to move here.
And I think Mason Maxwell's acquitted himself very, very well playing.
I would agree entirely.
Yeah.
He's done a great job. Maybe give Sal Marquez, the coaching
something
staff,
to think about. Yeah, agreed.
Maxwell keeps. You know, and that happens so often, Fred, where you have a situation that is unexpected and a kid steps up and you say, wow, you know what? Because a lot of times, you know, I can speak as a coach, there are kids that just, they aren't, for whatever reason, don't stand out in practice. And then all of a sudden, game time, they're a different kid.
And Sal, like the quarterback, is so much part of their offense. So he's looking for a quarterback that does exactly what he wants to be. Now, Maxwell is not the athlete that Bugay was, but he definitely runs the system, and that's pretty important to him.
Handoff again, pick up of a couple. That Timber Creek line has really been the difference.
Yes, agreed. After drive number one, and actually the first drive of the second half, it's just been a dominant control. And these are the young kids, and they're pretty good athletes out there on that field too.
Well, next week, Cherokee and
that'll be a test.
It's going to be another great game.
Absolutely. Cherokee has one of the top running backs in South Jersey and love it. And
he's headed to Rutgers.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Inside handoff, and that'll be very close to a first down.
Yeah, they thought the ball was on the ground, but it's dead.
Ball carrier Aiden Bouquet.
And that's the brother, I believe, of the starting quarterback.
Yep. So Chris Ash has kind of dipped into South Jersey. He's gone over to Cedar Creek and over to Cherokee, and he's got Najee Williams here at Timber Creek, who is a defensive back going to Rutgers. He was a transfer from Eastern High School.
And the running back from Salem, Taylor,
Yep.
is going to go to Rutgers. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, he's had an outstanding recruiting class. In fact, from what I understand, rated one of the top 20 recruiting classes thus far. Unfortunately, he's got about 7 or 8 teams in the Big Ten that are in front of him.
I tell you, Michigan, Ohio State really looked good. Wisconsin beating LSU was a very, very huge win. I tell you what, the best game I saw all last weekend was the Notre Dame Texas game.
Yeah, that was. I turned that on late
Great
because
football.
I was just on the internet. They said instant classic. I turned it on and I got to see the last few series of regulation and then the overtime. So it was a tremendous game.
I think everybody's going to go out and get an 18-wheeler.
Dilliard on the carry. Amir Dillard seeing some late action here as the clock continues to count down. We approach 3 minutes remaining. Timber Creek with that healthy 54-28 lead.
And once again, for all the Delsea faithful, it's September the 9th. Delsea will be there in December.
Maxwell hands it right up the middle, and that will cross midfield. That should be enough for a first down.
So as the clock comes down in here, we have to say, I was pretty impressed with Timber Creek. I'm very, very impressed with what they did.
How can you not be? Devin Leary
boy.
is
He's-
everything he's been advertised
Yes.
and more. In fact, in speaking with Sal Marquez before the game, he said best he's seen in 24 years of coaching.
He was right.
The one comparison he talked about was Sacco, who had
Del Rand.
Sacco,
Yeah.
excuse me, a nice career up at Penn State.
And I'll tell you, I got to watch 4 years of Joe Flacco, and it was pretty good too. He didn't have anywhere near the talent that.
No, he didn't have the receivers.
Right, had no receivers, and basically sometimes he was running for his life. So we used to say the best play that Audubon could have was Joe Flacco hiking the ball to Joe Flacco, and him throwing the ball and running down and catching it. But Jimmy Cannon was a very good player for them. Richie Horan's kid was a very good player for them, but this wasn't the athletes that we saw tonight.
Right up the gut. Nice pickup of about 10. Down to 90 seconds remaining. And again, we got a Timber Creek player shaking up on the field.
Well, we couldn't have asked for a better setup for game number 1 than the South Jersey Group 3 champion defending and the defending South Jersey Group 4 champion. And it didn't disappoint as far as athleticism, but boy, you just have to go away from here saying it's going to take an awful good football team to beat Timber Creek.
How about this Delsea crowd? I mean, no one has left.
No, and you know what? They're very, very good down here. They really love their football. And they love the Crusaders, and yeah, I'm very impressed.
I think what's happening, Fred, is that they're going to have a line, and they all want to meet Fred Swartz.
No, there you go. That's a scary thought when you think of that one.
Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week next week is Glassboro at Paulsboro. That will air on the GCEN on September the 20th and 21st, 22nd at noon and 8 p.m. Fred, you'll get to catch all of them. I know that you usually sleep in. You usually wake up around.
Oh, that's about right, too. And I'm so glad I live in Pittman where we can't even get the things. John Mondelli had me check last night to see if Channel 97 was showing the Gloucester County Educational Network, and it was showing something out of Audubon. So
really?
Yeah, it's amazing. Even though we're all Comcast, I guess there's an old Garden State cable, and there's a old Woodbury cable. And
well, I'm up in Burlington County, so I would love. It used to be they would have the games on demand, but
right, which
I don't
would be
know,
great.
We'll see. I think undoubtedly, when Stan Ritter and yourself are in Dancing with the Stars, that will go national.
We'll go national.
Yes.
That's absolutely correct.
There it is, Dancing with the Gloucester County Stars. Air dates every Friday, Saturday, Sunday in September at 12 and 8 p.m. So if you're wondering what to watch at noon or 8 p.m.
I'm going to be watching. That sounds good to me.
You got that or you got football.
That's right.
Can't go wrong.
No, can't go wrong. That really sounds good to me. Again, looks like a cramp or whatever. We're going to check. We're going to wish the best of hope for that young man. Looks like he's going to come up to his feet now.
Thanks, Mark. You're a good guy. I'll retweet you.
And that, of course, is number 10, Tymir Ayers, a sophomore cornerback and quarterback. And this is what we talked about. You just try and get through the game unscathed.
Correct. That's absolutely right. You know, that's an interesting thing when we talk about the mercy rule. How do you feel about the 10-run rule in baseball?
I mean, I personally love the 10-run rule because it
Saves pitching?
saves pitching. But, you know, that's because I play in a pretty tough conference.
Yeah,
you know,
you're doing
I know
right.
that some people would rather see their kids play, but it's also awkward if the game gets out of hand. You know, do you make an out purposely? Do you not make an out purposely? So it's an uncomfortable situation.
And I always thought about that.
I'm a fan of it.
We had a game at Rowan College this year. The final score was 35-7. Nobody wins in that kind of game.
No. Plus, I get to go home and see my wife and kids.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
Right up the gut. And Delsea continues to have some success on the ground here in the second half. Obviously a little too late, but again, that shows the heart of a champion. Delsea continuing to work hard, finishing this football game.
Yeah, it's a famous word. You're going to play to the last whistle. Delsea does that.
First down and 10 inside the 40-yard line. Maxwell, who has done well, is out of the game, and it's Brooks to hand it off.
So we're counting down the final seconds of this game, and Timber Creek has just been absolutely impressive. Delsea, don't count them out. They're going to have plenty of rebuilding to do. They'll get that set. Coach Marquez will get everything in order, and they're going to have a very, very successful season also.
I don't know that Delsea has to snap the football again, so we may have seen the last play of the evening. There you see Timber Creek, and Rob Hinson's crew should be very proud of what they accomplished tonight. Very impressive victory. Devin Leary leading the way, and that's your final score. 54-28 Timber Creek over Delsea, your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. And Fred, again, you know, we had an opportunity just to talk about how impressive this Timber Creek team has been. And remember, they've dealt with a lot of distractions coming into tonight.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. They showed a lot of character for them and the team. I think the thing that they're going to show right off the bat is they can score a lot of points on anybody, because Delsea's not going to allow a lot of points during the rest of their game. So I'm impressed. I think Timber Creek's going to be a team that's going to be a contention all the way around for Group 4. And we're back in here, and I think it's just going to be an impressive season for both. But wow, Devin Leary could be the best quarterback in the state of New Jersey.
And Delsea, of course, comes in tonight against a team like Timber Creek that is just loaded with talent. They started off the game impressively with an opening drive, and then they kind of got shut down by that imposing offensive line of Timber Creek. But again, you have to be satisfied if you're Sal Marquez with the response that your team provided in the second half, and maybe a few questions now as we saw Maxwell performing quite well in the quarterback position after the injury to Boguet.
And that's exactly right. The other thing that we always have said is your biggest improvement as a football team is between game 1 and game number 2. And that's definitely going to happen for Timber Creek, and it's definitely going to happen for Delsea. And the other axiom that we've always used is, after a game, you're never as good as you think you are, but you're also never as bad as you think you are either.
Well, again, we had a classic to start with. Two fantastic teams, defending champions here on the Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. Very, very pleased to bring it to you. Again, your final score, it was Timber Creek 54, Delsea 28. For my partner Fred Swartz, my director Stan Ritter, and all the crew, thank you for joining us tonight. We look forward to bringing you football action thanks to Atlantic City Electric. And we'll be back again next week. Glassboro and Paulsboro on tap. Stick around for that one. Make sure you tune it in. We look forward to bringing it to you. Good night, everybody.